My ninjas, what is good? Mama Hotori is here in CN. But she releases for everyone else on the 12th. And today, we are gonna dive into her kit gameplay skills in this early guide. We're also gonna be going over what her mats to level her up. Just a heads up, I spent so long scouring through CN just to get all of the most of the information, and I had to translate some of it. I'm gonna bring you this early guide and tips video. Without further ado, let's dive in. So for starters, to get her to max level, what you're gonna need is 86 of the confidential flower seeds, which you get from the Serenity boss, the boss that's at the end of Baichan's story quest. So if you haven't done that already, make sure to do that. And then what you will need next is 79 paradoxal whispers, 68 obscure whispers, and 57 lost whispers. In terms of beetle coins, you're gonna need 2,273,000. For her skills, you're gonna need 32 dress sleeves of vanity, which you get from the never-ending Arachne. I think I'm saying that right. You fight this boss in the main story, so just keep doing the main story and you'll unlock this boss if you haven't already. Then you need 64 of the olive branch, 40 of dove's flutter, and then 40 of the nestling longing. Hotori is a Cosmo solid burst DPS / sub DPS character who focuses on stopping time and replaying support skills, allowing more element reactions, which is kind of cool. Basic attack, it performs up to 5 consecutive attacks in Cosmos damage. Yeah, not much really going on there. And then when it comes to, honestly, all our basic attacks, we don't really need to go into that. They're basic attacks: plunge attack, critical, repulse, or counter attack. All that pretty much not much worth talking about. But her skill, present replay. So this is a skill, according to what I was able to dig up. It requires no cooldown, and it allows her to spend this special resource called non-closed timepiece energy. What? So to activate this skill, she needs to spend 60 of that resource to cast present replay. When energy is greater than 60, it deals 7 instances of Cosmos damage to the area. It also records support skills, so those skills, bar is full, you swap in a character and they do an attack or a skill. That's what that's referring to. And then redirect skills used by allies, which is redirect skills is just, your regular skills you press when you press the skill button on your character, that are used by allies for the next 5 seconds and accumulating up to 3 timings per use, with each character recorded at most once. So you can only record each character on your team at once and store that ability. And then rewinds the non-closed timepiece pointer continuously during use. It stops recording after the pointer rewinds a certain amount and continues rewinding a fixed amount if recording completes early, and then clears records when entering or leaving battle, meaning when you swap it in and out, you lose all that. And then it will also, if you press the skill again while there are still previous or existing records, it will overwrite those recordings. Up next, her ultimate, World's Tide. First off, it also has no cooldown or ultimate energy cost for her ult, and it allows her to unleash when non-closed timepiece energy is fully charged, dealing 10 instances of Cosmos damage to the area. Draws a katana from the umbrella handle and changes attack mode. It slows down time. It also will disable character switching. and it will also cleanse any time control debuffs and grant immunity to time control debuffs during time stop. It replays all attacks recorded by present replay one time and clears the record if any exists. Rewinds the non-closed timepiece pointer continuously during time stop, building combos. Stacks with Hotori's katana attacks, increases damage per hit, and it also deals a finisher damage when combo stacks reaches 10, and it ends time stops when the pointer rewinds completely or when finisher damage is dealt. Her support skill, Shopkeeper's Authority. It throws the umbrella, dealing 1 instances of Cosmos damage to that area. And then her other support skill, Frozen Snow Ritual, activates time manipulation when Hotori is outside of battle, and the non-closed timepiece has a cumulative energy greater than 0. It will slow down the flow of time while holding basic attack, causing surrounding time to approach a standstill, and it will remove and grant immunity to all time stop debuffs. It will rewind non-closed timepiece pointer continuously during time stop, prevents Hotori from using other time affected skills. Each time stop will, when the pointer fully rewinds, holding base attack, entering battle, switching scenes, or performing other actions. So basically, it will stop if you do any of those following actions: hold basic attack, enter battle, swapping scenes, or performing other actions. Okay. Ghost Orchid Crest Blossom Enhancement prevents Libisdam attacks from pausing during time stop, and then all treasure under heaven increases World Tide's finisher damage ratio by 100%, which is honestly, that sounds insane. According to her, what I found, her awakenings, the first one is called Flourish, increases Hotori's damage during time stop by 12% for each recorded support skill or redirect skill. So you would get up to using 3 skills, so you would get a 30% increase on Hotori's damage. Next one, Distant Memories. It increases Hotori's damage by 20 during time stop, which by the sound of it sounds like she's going to be doing a lot of, so yeah. Momentary Gaze. It recovers energy spent on present relay after using it and completing a recording. Triggers at most once every 60 seconds. Interrupts energy restoration if energy is spent during the recovery process. Honestly, that sounds kind of, because you're going to be using a lot of that energy to be casting skills and ults, so that could help keep up both her skill and ult. Have a lot, keep the uptime on those going. And then her fourth one, Scattered Relics, grants an additional 10 energy to the non-closed timepiece for every one target defeated by the team, while the pointer is not rewound up to 3 times. Resets the count when casting World Tide. Okay, so just another way to improve her skills uptime. Yeah, nice. Her fifth awakening, A5, All Seeing. When Hotori is deployed, if there's only one enemy on the field, the entire team's damage against the target is increased by 15%. And the effect is lost when Hotori is downed. So I did hear that she's gonna be mostly a bossing character, so this just further enhances that. Now I'm pretty sure you can use her in mob fights. Like, I'm pretty sure you could still do it, but she excels at boss fight. And then her final awakening, Time Takes Away. She ignores 30% of the target's defense during time stop. So just more damage. And then her Resonance, basically when you get to either A3 or I believe A5, you will unlock one of these skills to the respected awakening. First, Resonance, Eternity Shattered. It increases the skill level of Misty Moonstyle, Present Replay, and World Tide by 1. And then the other one, the Ultimate Treasure of Clear Understanding, grants the team 10% attack while she's alive. So yeah, that was her skills and awakening. Honestly, she sounds so good, and I cannot wait. Moving on, it is the arcs Now, she is a solid character, so her best arcs, at least this is me like spitballing, obviously her signature is going to be her best, right? Her signature, Marching Beyond Time, first off, it gives crit rate. At level 80, it gives 24% crit rate. It also, and its passive, it increases attack by 16%, enters Waste Lab and clears current waste time when the wearer casts a redirect skill. While in Waste Lab, allies gain 1 stat of waste time each time they use a redirect or support skill, up to 3 times. When the wearer uses Ultimate in Waste Lab, they exit Waste Lab and consume all waste time, increasing ultimate crit damage by 24% plus an additional 8% per waste time consumed. Consuming 3 stacks of waste time at once grants an extra 12% death ignore for 3 or defense ignore for 3 seconds. But let's talk about some other arcs that she could potentially use. The $3 arc you get from the starter pack, The Rain That Shook the World. This also increases crit rate, right? And then its passive is it deals 30% increased Cosmo damage with the wearer's redirect skill and ult, and increases the wearer's cycle intensity by 36 for 15 seconds after casting a redirect skill. And then it resets the duration when triggered again. So this is the MC's arc. So if you didn't want to go for her arc, her signature, you could, if you are willing to spend a bit of money, you could buy this and then you could slap on Day Off on MC. Now, moving on, you could throw on the Battle Pass weapon on her, the Fluff of Fearlessness. It also increases crit rate to up to 22%, attack by 25%, for 10 seconds after the wearer casts an ult, which honestly is not the worst, but typically, since she is a burst DPS, and I'm just go out on a limb and saying all of her damage comes from her ult, probably not good that you're getting the attack buff after you cast the ult. But let's move on to some A ranks. If let's say you don't have any of those, they're Forgotten. You get a HP. You get HP. So you should already know right then and there, like, nope, red flag. But its passive does increase attack when the wearer is above 50% HP, and then increases defense when they're below 50 HP. So if you don't have anything else, but just buy. If you really can't get the signature, I would honestly recommend your best bet is just to buy The Rain That Shook the World. It's $3. If you can spare the $3, spend the $3. Up next, let's move on to her modules or console cartridge or whatever we call these things. So her best in slot set will be Lost Radiance. It increases Cosmos damage by 10%, then ignores 25% of the enemy's death for 20 seconds after the wearer casts an ult. So she just gonna be nuking bosses. In terms of main stat, you're gonna be running crit rate or damage on the cartridge, whichever one you're missing or need more of. And then in terms of optimal like layout, honestly, what I have here on MC is pretty good. Just obviously ignore the rarity. I only have blues at the moment. I'm so close to Hunter level 30, so I can start farming the gold ones. But yeah, but I will say a small tip. That's what she's. Never mind. Basically, Exploration Chapter 8. This screen right here, you do get at Exploration level 8, this menu right here, you do get a free, basically S rank Lost Radiance set. So if you do manage to get to this chapter before you reach level 30, you could do this. You could just give her this set, or that the game gives you for finishing chapter 8 of Exploration. Now, let's talk team. Since she can rewind support and redirect skills, what you could, she will excel in probably quick teams with a lot of quick swap. So the number one team that I thought off the top of my head, right, was the Blossom team, because Blossom honestly in this game is kind of broken. But just pretend Sakura is Hotori for a moment. You could run this team, MC, Hotori, and Juwon or Natalie. And then if you're missing one of them, throw in Mint and she'll be like your main DPS. If you don't have neither Natalie or Juwon, your only other option would be either throw in a Lakshana character, which I think I saw someone running, or you could throw in Incantation. A team idea I had was running, hear me out here, Daffodil, Sakura, or any other incantation character. Actually, 2 incantation characters, and Hotori. But anyway, my ninjas, that is all I got for you. I cannot wait for Hotori. She looks incredibly fun and broken. But if you would like to see the deep dive guide for Hotori, or me pulling for Hotori in the future, be sure to slap that like and subscribe button right in the bed cheek one time. Just like how you want to slap Hotori right in the bed cheek one time. Leave me a comment telling me if you're pulling for her. And until next time, ninjas, roll out.